Hey guys, it's me, Emily from Mrs. G Sewing Space. I'm here with my pandemic hair. I haven't had a haircut since the beginning of the year. I am doing a vlog today because I've had a couple of things happen. Nothing major, it's just personal lack of mojo. So I call it my sewing mojo, and I know a lot of people in the sewing circles, when they just lose their creativity and all their passion is just kind of fizzled out for the moment, is just losing your mojo. You get so inspired and passionate about the projects that you're working on that eventually all that energy peters out and comes to an end. It's not permanent, thankfully, but it might take a while to get back into. And so my last video, Sashiko Seriously, was posted in June 11th, I think it was. And as much as I love making those YouTube videos, I'm trying to find my mojo again so that I can continue making those videos, which is why I'm doing a vlog. Instead of a tutorial, I'm doing a vlog, and I'm trying to figure out what my next videos are. And I kind of know what my next videos are going to be, but I just, that compulsion that I usually have in sewing, I just don't have it at the moment. And it's something that happens to a lot of creative people. That's why you have writer's block. A lot of writers, they have these great ideas and they kind of know how they have it in their head, and then they start typing it out and they hit a wall. And I think that's kind of what happened to me for right now, is that I've hit a wall. I've done what I could the way I've wanted it done, and now I'm just kind of so I have to wait for that energy to come back to me. And sometimes you can get it back by working on other skills, or you can get it back by finding something else to do, or you can get it back by just not doing it, whatever it is your passion is, not doing it at all and just doing something completely different, or doing a different hobby, or reading, or just sometimes you just got to wait for it to come back. And that's kind of where I am right now. So next week I am planning to do another video, but I don't know if it's going to be a project video or if it's going to be a sewing basics video, because I have been thinking about doing some things on my sewing machine which isn't necessarily project based, but doing something like how to make a ruffle, how to use a buttonhole foot, different kinds of sewing feet and what they're used for, what the stitches on your sewing machine are meant for, because I have a lot of stitches on my machine, and while I know what most of them are used for, they're still kind of like, I don't know if they're decorative or utility and what they're supposed to be used for, so I might have to figure that out as well. But I am gonna share with you some things that I have been working on, and I need to clean up my sewing room so I can organize again, because it's hard to also create when your room is a mess, when it's just overflowing with junk. Like here, I'll show you real quick. So over there is that's my embroidery machine, and it's just full of those like scrappy bits because my daughters have been crafting over there and they haven't cleaned up their mess. And there's my cabinet. So oops, try to get still here. So all of that right there are hats that I want to embroider on, and some completed embroidery projects, and ribbons and buttons and stuff, purse making supplies, and all that down here is paper crafting stuff because of what I have been working on here lately. And then there's my sewing machine and all the mess that goes along with that. And so I have a mix of fabric, I have a mix of paper, I have a mix of just little bits of everything, because I've lost interest in my sewing for the moment. It'll come back. My mojo always comes back. I just gotta wait it out. But in the meantime, I have been making books, which is kind of odd. I was kind of sort of a paper crafter, but never to the extent I am at now, just because I still feel the need to create, but not necessarily sew. And so I have been making, this is a scrapbook that I made from hand. I made the cover, and I made all the pages on the inside, and I'm filling it up with all the little doodles and things that my daughters give me. Like, let's see, I'm trying to find something that, let's see. I want to share something cool with you that my daughters have created for me. Okay, so because I label everything as well, and I don't want to give away their names because, you know, they're not old enough to be on YouTube yet. They want to be, but they're not old enough to be on YouTube yet. So here, like this one, she copied this from some sort of video game, and so and my daughters can draw. They're gaining their skills, so I see a lot of progress. So I'm saving all their little doodles, stuff that I would normally throw away when I'm like, I've had enough of all this paper floating around. But I'm trying to save it so I can see the progress that they make from now to when they're older and their skills get better. So I have it all saved up here in a scrapbook that I made from scratch. Made the cover, made the inside and the outside and all the pages in between, and I'm just filling it all up. And then when I got started on that, I don't know if I had actually talked to you guys about junk journals. Maybe in a prior vlog, I can't remember. But I started my junk journal journey just for the fact that I was looking for something else to do that wasn't sewing, and then I kind of got caught up. And because I kind of got caught up, I started making other things. Like, I wanted to do a new junk journal, so this is another one, but this is pretty empty. I'm like, it was around the 4th of July, which you can probably tell. So my insides, and this is a pretty thin one because the expectation is that it'll be filled up. So as you're stuffing papers in there, as you're putting things in and taking in pictures and saving bits and scraps and everything, that it'll just get wider. So it'll eventually be like this once you get everything added. But I made room in here so that you can add a whole bunch of stuff into it and it won't get too wide. And this is totally empty, and I find that I really like making the journals, not filling them as much. I mean, I still fill them and I still like to do that, but I find the creativity of actually creating a book more up my alley, I guess. And because of that, I have been bookmaking like mad. So this is one out of a map that my husband, and this is just all scrap paper. It'll eventually be a mixed media art book just because it's scrap paper, stuff that would normally be thrown away or shredded. I'm keeping the full 8.5 by 11 pages to fill up with mixed media. Or this was my first actual book that I made almost properly. I was taking techniques that I had learned off of YouTube and made this book, and I love it. I think it looks awesome, front and back, and the inside. I can see all my mistakes like anything else. I know what my mistakes are, but it's almost professional. It's just full of white pages. I don't know what I'm going to fill it with. I was just happening using my grammar. I was using stuff that I had on hand. So let's see, here's another one. I was just practicing. It's completely empty. I was using my scrap paper. I really like blue. Blue's my favorite color, so you know, I really enjoyed this one. But like I said, I can see all the mistakes that I made in it, but this is empty right now, and so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And then I was practicing my Coptic stitches for an exposed binding, and using some digital paper, some white paper, some paper that I created. So like on, let's see if I can find a centerfold. I created this paper here. So here, using free graphics that I found online, I guess photoshopped it, but I didn't use Photoshop. I used a paint program on my Mac, and I created these digitals. Now these digitals, these brown ones, I purchased these online from Nick the Booksmith, and then I just have some plain old blank pages. And I created the covers myself, but I don't like the exposed bindings too much because I don't feel like they're very secure. They're kind of, the covers wiggle a little bit. Maybe I didn't do it tight enough. I don't know. I'm still learning, but I'm like, I like it, but it's too loose. I don't know. So there's that one. And this is one I made from a book, an actual book. I took out the block of pages on the inside, and I put my own pages here on the inside. So once again, these are just scrap pages, things that my kids drew, 18.5 by 11 bits and pieces, print out things that we printed out and we're just going to throw away. And I'm using it as a scrapbook for junk journal techniques. So I'm keeping a list of the techniques that I want to use using the techniques here and then gluing the samples down. So I guess it's more like a sample book. Gluing the samples down so I can refer to it when I want to do something. See? And then I'm like, oh, this is page 9. Well, let me go back to my table of contents on page 9. This is where I got this information from on YouTube. Let me go back and look at it again. And so that's what I have here. So this is a constant work in progress type thing. And then here's my favorite sloth fabric. You'll probably see a lot of this in all my videos until I run out of it. So this is another one. Just scrapbooks. See all that extra space there? The space is meant to fill up so that I can have space to put bits of paper, stickers. These are a whole bunch of stickers in here that I have that I'm waiting to use. These are just scrapbook paper, stuff like that. So I keep it all together so that I want to use it in this book. Hold on a second, let me get organized here. So I keep this in my sloth book here so that when the time comes I can use it. See, I'm matching. Look. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so some of these are just because they're pretty, and I've got materials that I need to use up. I can't go out and buy more fabric until I use up what I got, and I don't necessarily want to sew with it, so I'll do book covers with it instead. So there's that one. And then for a while there I was trying to use up my scrapbook paper and started making these. They're like single signature folios. So it's just a 8x12 scrapbook paper is what I used. Just making a single little. So I got a pocket here. You open it up, another pocket. Let's see, you open it up, there's another pocket for whatever you want to use here, and centerfold, just stuff like this. So I have the urge to create this stuff, and then it just kind of builds up, and then I don't know what to do with it because I can't give it away, and I don't know if anybody would be interested in purchasing it, so I don't know if I should sell it or not. And then I have a whole bunch of them, like this was 4th of July again, just stuff that I was using to keep things interesting. 4th of July again. This time I added little beads to it. So let's see what have I got in here. I've just got, so on this particular one I have graphics, and this is just lined paper and quotes about freedom and stuff like that, and sexual liberty. And so anyway, so here's another one. Like I said, I create this stuff and I don't know if anybody would actually be interested in purchasing it, or I don't know. So I'm just holding on to all this. And so now I have like 3 more. The beginning, notebooks, or notebook. And then what is this one? This one is The Incomplete Thoughts of a Busy Mind, which that's right up my alley right there. So as I was working on those, I also came across travel journals or travel notebooks. And travel notebooks are pretty much these singular folios, but they're all put together into one little binder. And so what I have here, sloth fabric. I love the sloth fabric. So I made my own cover. So the stuff that I found, it's based off a Japanese planner system called Midori. And I made my own cover. So I got the elastic, made my own cover, the inside. I just recently added pin loops for my pens and pencils, and as you can see right here, there's 4 there's 4 separate folios right here. So see right here, all my notes and scribbles, and so the first one's a calendar and the other 3 are empty, and then I have a little folder in here which I use to keep in my stuff, so postcards and things like that. And I made that all on my own as well. I just watched some videos and got some ideas and figured out what sizes I want, and then did all that as well. And so I'm using this as my planner now. And it's even better because it's exactly what I want, because I couldn't find anything the way I wanted it. And I can replace the folios here on the inside that I made myself. Here, let me show you. I'll show you guys. So here, let me take this one out real quick. So this was just scrapbook paper. This is just copy paper. And I cut it and bound it using a pamphlet stitch here in the middle and to the exact size that I wanted. And when it gets full, I can either save it or trash it or do whatever I want with it. And when it's full, I'll just make another one. Easy peasy. And I don't have to worry about going out to buy replacements or refills or anything like that because I've got it all here and I've done it all myself. And then I use my daughter's creativity. I'm actually in the middle of making a book right now, but this is a book cover and I'm using the artwork of my daughter. She painted this and I thought it was fabulous, and so I'm using it as a cover of a book or a little notepad book. And what's that? What else? Was that it? And oh, so this is what I currently got working on. I'm waiting for it to dry. So this is my last one. So I went to Paper Source and purchased some special paper. And I don't have the other scraps around here. Anyways, I'll post it up on my Instagram. So I took some pictures of a book that I made for my mom. And with the leftovers, I made this book, which is, it's a beautiful I believe it's a Japanese paper. I don't know, but I really like it. It's very thin. And there's the inside. It's just a plain old notebook. Glue down my end pages and I'm waiting for them to dry, so which is why they're kind of wrinkly right here, because they're not completely dry yet. And there you go. This is the best one that I've made so far. And it's absolutely lovely. And it's beautiful. And I love it, and it's my favorite so far. And I gotta put it back so it can finish drying. But that's what I've been doing, even though I haven't been sewing. I have been creating, and so I'm waiting for my sewing mojo to come back. And now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with all these books. Nobody in my family appreciates my creativity, so every time I give stuff to them, they're like, "Oh, great, Emily made us something else." I'm like, you guys. Anyways, so that's it for today. I'm just going to share all that information with you to let you know, one, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm trying to figure out how to get my mojo back as quickly as I can. In the meantime, I'm having a good time with all the paper products and making a big old mess with it. So I think my next major project is actually going to be cleaning up in here and organizing again, because it's a never-ending project. And the thing was not in. What the crap? So my audio changed because I was talking directly to my phone and I meant to talk into the microphone that I had, which I just realized was not plugged up. So I'm sorry if I sound a little bit louder or a little more clearer or however it is I sound now. So I'm going to leave that with you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I appreciate everybody who has been checking out my videos. Like I said, I am trying to get back into a possibly weekly, bi-weekly upload. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm going to do my best to continue uploading. Like I said, we'll do some basic sewing skills. I do have a couple of projects in mind. I don't know if I want to do them or not. I have the desire. I've got to get my desire back, and it may take a while. But in the meantime, maybe I'll post stuff about books instead, and we'll turn this in from Mrs. G's Sewing Space to Mrs. G's Paper Place. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I would never do that to you guys, especially if you guys are learning how to sew. I will always be here for you, learning how to sew. I love sewing. I just need to get my compulsion back. All right. Anyways, enough of my rambling. I will see you guys later. I hope everybody's doing well and staying healthy. And remember to keep watching and following. And I'll see you next time. Bye.